you've said almost everything. The major features in this election on Saturday at Bantama, those are what you've given out already. But what I would add is that Bantama was very, very interesting. The tension we saw on the ground didn't reflect in the results that were given out at the end of the day, because even when the two candidates got to the ground, even before any of them spoke, you could see the tension. Wherever they stand, they were so close. You see them stand shoulder to shoulder.
Close marking. I was wondering why that was happening.
Exactly. At a point, immediately they got there. Some of the EC officials, the one in charge of the polling station, told them that he wasn't happy with the environment. So he stationed them at one point. So they were drawn closer into the inner perimeter, one specific point, and you see them stand shoulder to shoulder. They didn't speak to each other until the songs came in. The song thing came in. The two didn't speak to each other. They stood shoulder by shoulder, and whoever was at the polling station at a point could see the tension, could feel the tension.
The tension, you have brought the tension to the studios. Let's have a bit of a comic relief. Wa kano ebebemu erade wa kano ebebemu. Listen to the song.
One time,
so, what were you when the song was being sung? Were you enjoying it yourself? What was happening? How was the atmosphere like? Because in the background, you could hear people say, how was the atmosphere like when the song was being sung?
So, these two were, as I said, they were within the inner perimeter. So, every delegate that is in the queue sees them, engage with them before the delegates proceed to the polling to cast their ballots. So, at a point, you see them going around talking to the delegates, following each other, close marking, as you said. Then all of a sudden, Asenso started singing.
Earlier, he had the morning devotion, so maybe the spirit was still on him.
That was the answer he gave me when I asked him why he started to sing. Because he says, I had a morning devotion. When I was coming in, the spirits were so high. So it was just an outburst.
Okay.
So he started singing, and Ralph said, according to Ralph, he wasn't happy with him singing at the point. So he had to interject and also give him his peace of mind through his song. So he made a song from the song that Asenso was.
A rendition of the song.
Exactly. He had his own lyrics.
But
something new from
tell me, the devotion that took place, did some delegates attend it? And would they refer to that as camping? And then the bus that brought in the delegates, who paid for that, bus to transport the delegates to the grounds?
Let me start from the point that I got to the grounds. As at 6:50, I was there at Bantam because voting was supposed to start at 7 a.m. My cameraman was already there. I went to meet him there. Immediately we got to the station, we saw Ralph and his team. Amufa Jantua, who aspired for chairmanship race earlier, himself and other two gentlemen. And immediately Ralph saw us. He noticed that by our branding. He just came over to us and he was like, "You are here for the news. I have a big news for you. Asenso has camped some delegates which is against the electoral rules. So please go see it and report what you see." So immediately he said that. I wanted to witness the commencement of the election first. So I asked my cameraman, this is what he's saying. I said, okay, my cameraman had earlier been there and taken videos of what was happening at the church. So he says, okay, we already have it. So let's concentrate on what's happening here. So at the time, we were live on Joy News, so we had the chairman of the Bantama constituency there. And I put the question to him that I'm learning that Asenso Boache has calmed some delegates, which is against the electoral rules. The answer he gave me was very interesting. He says that yesterday he had information that Asenso wanted to hold a devotion that morning, that the Saturday morning, Asenso planned to hold a devotion, and he had thrown an invite out to the people of Bantima constituency. So if some delegates decide to join in, that's their own peace of mind. So he has already been there and witnessed that the doors of the church is opened. So if you enter and you want to come out, you're at liberty to come out. So he doesn't see that as campaign
of delegates.
Of delegates.
What about the bus issue?
So from there, after my interview, I just, the story of campaign was everywhere that morning. Almost every media house I monitored in the morning was reporting that. Not long after, about somewhere around 7:30, 7:45, the Metro Mass Transit, one of the Metro Mass Transit buses, come in. It comes in with delegates. It was full of delegates. These people immediately, the bus came in. Asenso Boache's V8 also drives in. And you see all of them coming out of the bus. They go to the bus. Asenso Boache enters the polling station or the inner perimeter, comes out and asks, "Why are you still there? Just come and vote and let's go." Okay. I asked him whether he's the one who buzzed in those people. He denied. But from my own deductions and from the information
body language,
no, for you to communicate to them like they should come in and vote and cast their ballots, and for them to follow what you said, I believe that I would draw some inference there. I think that he's the one who brought in those people after the devotion that they had in the morning
on the basin. You see, that's why I always say that sometimes when we are solving our issues, we always leave element of deceit. And Sticker answered this basin issue correctly. He said his constituency. You know how far Nhyiaeso goes? The voting centers at one place. They are not voting in their areas. Did the party make provision of buses for the delegates?
Yes. They provided them something for transportation.
No, I'm saying that, you see.
No, they didn't bus them, but if the party should give you...
Every constituency had money for transportation from the party.
Exactly. As far as I'm concerned, or as far as I know,
yes, because
was provided.
His argument on the day was that his delegates do not have transport. So if he, as a member of parliament, can give them a car or a token to bus them, David, is it wrong? For example,
and Wontumi said the same thing.
No, David.
Wontumi said the same thing to the extent I think you asked Wontumi whether he'll give you something for TNT. Or wasn't you?
No, I asked him whether it's right.
No. At the end of it all,
he asked me whether if he's leaving, I'm expecting TNT from him. Yes, he asked me that.
Wontumi said there's nothing wrong.
Yes,
but then again, we need to be able to define the roles very well.
David,
you supporting somebody.
Before you come in, I was at the press conference that was organized by the party in the Ashanti region.
Where they laid down the protocols and the rules of engagement.
I asked him, the party general secretary, that why is it wrong? How do you say this is wrong? Because if someone is supposed to vote, the person doesn't have the money, and you facilitate the process. I don't think If we will say it's wrong, if the amount exceeds what ordinarily we will know that it's transportation, that's to some extent it's wrong, because if you give someone 2,000 or 3,000 cedis for transportation within the Bantima constituency, in my opinion, it amounts to vote buying. And he said that the party has made provisions for every delegate who's supposed to vote in this election. So that should tell you that the party... Exactly, that is why according to the rules of engagement, you are not supposed to bus them to the place.
David, if you can get JFK, let's define it. Because you see, this issue comes up with the NPP, and sometimes the media will discuss it. I'm particularly not okay with it. I'm saying, he says that the party made provision of what? Is it money or bus?
Transport or the bus?
That's the first question. I've heard 2 MPs say that their delegates cannot move. Sticker and our reference Sticker, we can speak to him. So if JFK says the party made provision, and David, I'm giving you a clear example. I live in the Ofuricum constituency. The voting was done at the police command at Aronga, right? Maybe go to Wabaman or Ofuricum, I should bus myself and come and vote and go back. Realistically. If the voting was being done in the traditional polling stations where we do the general elections, that is accepted. But where there's a one voting center for an entire constituency, imagine someone moving from Datano to Adubia to vote. Leo knows there's a place. So if he said the party made the provision, I'd like to ask the general secretary, what type of provision?
So
was it cash?
I'll try just like having
yes,
money. I've gotten some people to talk to us.
Let's find out. Because for me, there's absolutely nothing wrong with facilitating
no matter how much amount is.
No, I'm coming. Let me land. I'm saying that there's absolutely nothing wrong with facilitating people to go and vote. Where I agree, Nana Yaw, is the volumes. Is the volumes. So we all know the NPP doesn't have 270 buses. So going forward, how do we cure that? We cure that by maybe the party saying that all the delegates we have a mobile money number. We've done a decentralized maybe 50 CDs to facilitate your transport or something. Or you provide buses, because if you do not do that, then there's a lacuna. The candidates will fill in that space. Again, feeding. As the party is providing transport, you all know that you do about maybe 30 minutes, 1 hour in the queue. Some will stay 2 because Okas won't come back in Samra. And the guideline says that when you vote, go home and come back at 2.
Yeah.
Who pay for that transport again? So I'm saying that per the guidelines and common sense and what we all know, there's a lacuna in the system. Okay. And when you leave lacuna, that's why I just have to give plantain chips and someone who give yogurt and oats. So if the party is making provision of transport, they should also make provision of food. Because if I come and vote from Ahomaso, I should go back and come again for the counting at 2. You get the point I'm making. So there must be realistic things associated with
from the argument we are making, it means that if there is a general election, we